Hello YouTube, how everyone doing today? Hope great. Um I was watching some on YouTube and they was talking about the different legends on Lilith. Okay, and then I ran across a movie and it's called The Unholy. Now, the one that they call Unholy was Mary. So that should make you think about the version they have in the Bible and how they have different versions in different Bibles. So yeah, and all over the world, long time ago, it was around the time that Exorcist came out, before way before then, H. Because if you actually watch the movies very well, you can see the knowledge they put in it, but you gotta pay attention. Anyways, um, like I was saying, during that time, it was a lot of Mary statues was bleeding blood. Now, from the previews in the Unholy, it have a lot of statues bleeding blood, and it said Hail Mary. So that should make you think about how they saying Hail Mary. They ain't saying it in a good way. So that should make you wonder, did they switch the names, the different legends? Did they switch the legends of it? And also about Lilith. They said she was the first woman in some Bibles. Now, with her being the first woman, they say that they kicked her out, or they Jesus cursed her because she didn't want to be with Adam, or basically Adam had his ideas and he didn't want to listen to her. So, it's a lot of people, things that started up like groups about women's rights and stuff like that, and they name it the Lilith. I mean, as you can see the video I just showed. So you should think about that, because it's a lot of holes in the Bible, all Bibles. So there's nothing to disrespect any one religion. I'm just throwing this out there because, I mean, you gotta look, you gotta pay attention, because some movies actually be trying to tell you some difference, trying to show you things and stuff like that. But just a little piece. I'm sure if y'all want more information, y'all can go look at different videos. It have so many different videos. It's so many to even talk about, because it's so many of them. Sometimes I probably like throw a clip or two on my channel, more things about love, but this is just something for you to think about. I think they switched the names because the real scrolls, the real Bible pieces were on the wall. So with that being said, now think about it. Egypt, it was on the wall. So, and they had scrolls. The scrolls that they had back then, they were burned. So who to tell which Bible is true, or any of them are true? You just have to go on your heart and figure out which one is for you, or whatever, or just be a good person, so it shouldn't matter. But y'all take it easy, like and subscribe. Love y'all all, the ones that know the real things and looking at real things and can tell from movies and what is the truth and what is not. Looking through the thinking. But all right, y'all take it easy and have a nice day.
First wife who preceded. You might know Lilith as Adam's real first wife who preceded Eve, or maybe as the first vampire, or a succubus. Heck, in the chilling adventures of Sabrina, Lilith is Satan's concubine disguised as a high school teacher. But where did the legend of Lilith come from, and what's her real story? If you read the first few chapters of the book of Genesis in the Bible, you'll notice that there are two accounts of the creation of human beings that are slightly different. The first, in Genesis 1:27, says God created man and woman at the same time, both in his own image. Chapter 2, however, gives the more familiar expanded version where God makes Adam out of the clay and then makes Eve from his rib. The discrepancy is likely because the Bible's original editors were trying to stitch together different versions of the creation story into one master text. Most Christians simply treat the second version as an expansion of the first, but in the tradition of Rabbinic Judaism, it's widely held that these are accounts of two different women, the first being Lilith and the second being Eve. So what's Lilith's story? The earliest version of what modern readers would recognize as the Lilith legend comes from the collection of satirical proverbs known as the Alphabet of Ben Sirah, written sometime between the 8th and 11th centuries AD. And it's a doozy because it says that Lilith and Adam broke up because they disagreed about who should be in the dominant position during intercourse. Unwilling to accept a subservient position since they were created as equals, Lilith blasphemes by shouting the unspeakable true name of God and then literally flies away. Lilith's unwillingness to accept an inferior status hints at why Lilith has become a modern-day feminist icon. The part about her killing babies, though, not so much. Here's the rest of the Ben Sirah account. After flying away, Lilith basically turns into a demon mom and begins giving birth to scores of demons every day. God tries to convince her to go back to Adam, but she refuses and instead hunts Adam's offspring, the children of mankind, in retribution. There's another tradition, though, like the one from the sect of Jewish mysticism called the Kabbalah, which posits Lilith and the dark archangel Samael were created by God as dark mirror images of Adam and Eve. Some Kabbalah texts even suggest Lilith was actually the serpent in the Garden of Eden who tempted Eve. Still, other traditions say that Lilith isn't just any demon, but rather the queen of demons. A seducer of men, this demon queen version still hunts children, but could be warded off with special amulets. In this context, the legend of Lilith generally was used to explain high child mortality rates in ancient times, and teach societal norms about intercourse and the subsequent care of children. So even the evil demon version of Lilith has her good side. Before the Hebrew stories that became the Bible, though, there were earlier legends that many scholars believe formed the foundation of the Lilith mythology. A prototype for Lilith can be found in the Sumerian poem The Epic of Gilgamesh, which itself is basically a first draft of the Bible. And artifacts dating back as far as the 7th century BC seem to invoke protective magic against Lilith. Perhaps the biggest influence on the Jewish mythology, however, would be the Assyrian demon Lilith. The name Lilith seems to be the feminine version of Lilu, an Akkadian name which is related to the word for demon. Some scholars believe the name Lilith is also related to the Hebrew word for night, while others argue it comes from the Sumerian word for wind, all of which may explain why in ancient legends, Lilith was mostly seen as a winged demon of the night. The single actual reference to Lilith in the Bible appears in Isaiah 34:14 in a passage describing the destruction that will be found after God lays his judgment on the nation of Edom. It says that thorns and brambles will grow over the city and its walls will become a home for jackals and owls. It goes on to say that the city will be filled with hyenas and satyrs and, quote, "There too shall Lilith repose." Different translations reinterpret Lilith as all sorts of weird things, from a donkey centaur to a screech owl. Some versions translate Lilith as Lamia, which makes sense as in Greco-Roman mythology, Lamia was the name of a queen who turned into a child-eating monster. And some amazing versions of the Bible even straight up translate it as vampire. That interpretation is the one that has gained the most traction in pop culture, as everyone from Marvel Comics to the 1996 movie Bordello of Blood to the HBO series True Blood has depicted Lilith as the queen of the vampires. Demons, vampires, donkey centaurs. Is there anything she isn't queen of? Despite being a figure that does not appear at all in the canonical Bible and that only arises from folklore, tradition, and foreign mythology, Lilith has enjoyed great success as a character in various forms of popular culture. She is, for example, a major player in the chilling adventures of Sabrina, where she is arguably the main antagonist, the mother of demons, and Satan's very jealous concubine. The archetype of the evil wife that Lilith represents also informed the choice of naming Fraser Crane's cold, somewhat controlling wife, and later ex-wife, Lilith Sternin. On the flip side of that portrayal, a more modern reappraisal of Lilith's character would reveal her as a woman who was punished for demanding equality, and as such, she became something of a feminist icon, giving her name to the popular 1990s all-woman touring music festival, Lilith Fair. And then there's the seminal anime series Neon Genesis Evangelion, in which Lilith is revealed to be the name of the second angel. Lilith likewise can be found sprinkled all across pop culture, from books to movies to anime to video games such as Castlevania, Final Fantasy, and Darkstalkers. Sometimes she's depicted as a vampire, sometimes a demon, sometimes a succubus, and sometimes just a domineering wife. However she's depicted, it's clear that Lilith has transcended her pseudo-biblical roots to become a major part of pop culture today. Who's on top now, Adam? Check out one of our newest videos right here.
She's here.
Listen, I have a story for you. Something the examiner will love. A healing, possibly divine. A girl performing miracles after a visitation from the Virgin Mary. In Chicago, New York, D.C., every demographic on this planet is eating this up. Give me the exclusive. All right, I think I got this all set up. What do you say we do a couple real easy questions?
Many are gonna watch. Mary wants to reach as many people as possible.
Maybe millions. There are people out there that don't believe in your miracles. How would you respond to those folks?
Seeing is believing.
And why do you think Mary chose you?
I opened myself up and welcomed her in.
Witnesses of the Virgin Mary draw millions of faithful each year. The Vatican's been tasked to investigate this visitation from the Blessed Virgin.
I have read several libraries worth on the supernatural. Investigated half a dozen miracles. Prove them all false.
She's here.
You think there could be other forces at play?
Hey, this is my dad. When God builds his church, the devil builds a chapel next door.
Don't doubt her. Doubt weakens faith. Hail Mary, full of grace, pray for us sinners, now and at the hour of our death.
This is not the work of the Virgin Mary. It's the work of the unholy. Faith in evil empowers you.
Believe in her. Offer your soul to Mary.
Well, the Mary one is basically talks about how she's supposed to be the unholy, and this girl called herself Mary and stuff like that. It's a movie, but read between the lines, because a lot of movies are connected between other movies. If you ever look very closely, they actually tell you some truth and things. So with that being said, the unholy, and it's about Mary. Is it a Mary Magnum, or is it Mary, the Virgin Mary? I believe it's about the Virgin Mary. Because if you ever thought about how